So I'm here with Deborah Skye. She is a professional past life regression therapist with the Soul Therapy Studios in Toronto, Yorkville. And first of all, Deborah, I want to thank you for your time. And we're going to talk about past life regression and some of the things that you do. So first of all, you can explain to me a little bit your background and what got you interested in past life regression.
Okay, when I was 11 years old, I started reading Edgar Cayce and learning about Atlantis and Lemurian times. And as I read through his books, I was having full recall of Atlantis and especially Lemuria. And since a very young age, I've been aware of my gifts and my abilities. So I just educated myself throughout my life, even as a child.
Okay.
And continued that as I grew older. And when I was 18 years old, I started traveling the world and continued. And everywhere that I went to, I did work with shamans and local guides, and also worked in sacred sites.
Okay, great. What's involved in a past life regression session?
The ones that I do, the 2 hours, and I do a half-an-hour consultation beforehand, and then we do the regression itself. We go into a lifetime that's relevant for the individual, whatever's happening in their life present, and whatever issues or blocks or things that they're dealing with. It even could be something on a spiritual level that they know they need to reach, but don't know how to get there. We go to that lifetime, and subconscious, which is the universal mind, actually dictates and finds out where that is. So it's like the higher self who is the guide to that lifetime. And through that, usually the core issue of why a person has a block or an issue is revealed. It's not a surface area of just like, oh, that might be because. It actually goes directly to the place where it originated from and exposes it. So when it does that, the conscious mind and the energy that's stuck in the body releases. So it's a profound therapeutic tool of transformation and enlightenment. Okay. And from that, we go into the subconscious after we go through the lifetime. And we find out, what does it mean on the soul level? Where is a person in their life right now? And what is their soul purpose, their life purpose? And why have they come? What is their journey in this lifetime?
Okay. What are some of the techniques that you use to in a session? Is it similar to hypnosis?
I've been trained by Dr. Brian Weiss and Carol Weiss. Okay. And also with Deborah Cannon. And both of them are two top in the world experts on past life regression. And Deborah Cannon, she uses her own method. Her work is quite specific in dealing with the evolution of the human and what that means at this particular time on our planet, because there's so much changes. We are in the great shift right now. And by using those different techniques, one is a rapid induction, which Brian uses, and Dolores is a more deepening process that brings the subconscious forward. And so does Brian's, but they're two different methods of how to approach it. I also have my own method called the Divine Energy Matrix Connection. And through this methodology, I can go deep into the center of the earth, which brings a person really deep into themselves to bring things forward that might not come forward in a regular session. So those are different methods that I use. Okay.
So basically there's been specific techniques that are focused for the past life regression aspects.
It really differs for each person too, because one person their energy might call for one technique, and another person, I'll just know right off the bat that they would benefit from another technique.
Right. Having said that, is there certain types of clients that are better to work with or more susceptible to past life regression work?
Well, everyone can be regressed, and I think this is a big myth that is out there that, well, I can't be regressed, you can't relax me, or this can't happen. But there's pathways that you can go through and different techniques that you can get a person to relax and really let go of their logical, rational mind. And this is the part that actually allows a person to go deeper or not. So if you're a logical, analytical person,
right,
it might be a little bit more difficult for you to get there quicker.
Right.
So if you have somebody who's done a lot of meditation, or who's an artist who uses their imagination a lot, those individuals usually they just go right in. But there's always degrees, because you come against belief systems too.
Right.
And controlling aspects of the ego, which can also come in at any time and go, I don't want to go there.
Right.
And then I just use a technique to just let the person know that, they can surrender to themselves and to what they need to see.
So basically there's different techniques for different personality types or different types of people.
Yes, there is. And I feel that, if someone's very analytical, it's more difficult to bring them into a regress state.
Right.
But you can still bring them there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How does knowing one's past life shape the future?
Profoundly. Most people are actually living in the past.
Okay.
Now, if you think about this for a moment, you've been up for probably 4 or 5 hours today, maybe. How many thoughts have you had today that were about yesterday, or about something that happened a week before, a month ago? Probably a lot.
Right.
Right?
Probably about 70%.
Yes.
At
So
least.
most people live actually in the past.
Right.
So if you can go to a place where something originated from and clear that, because we're constantly reacting to a past experience.
Okay.
So when you're in that past experience, you're actually not present to what's going on around you. And this is profound.
Okay.
Because if you're present to what's happening in front of you, you create the possibilities from this moment.
Okay.
If you clear the past, you create the future.
So, I suppose in our daily lives, is it possible that we're getting hints of our past life hearing this?
Constantly. Everything is a symbol.
Okay.
Everything around you in life is a symbol. It's created that way. It is the morphogenic field that regulates the understanding and the synchronicities around you. So if one's able to see the symbols in life, you're able to pick up in a more cohesive manner of what is really taking place, as opposed to just trudging through a day, which most people do. They just take advantage that this is going to be the same as yesterday, maybe a little bit different. And that's a very sleepish idea of how life is, because you're constantly creating every second, every millisecond. You have the possibility to create whatever you want. And it depends from where you work from, where you come from.
Okay.
If you have a clear mind, that's where the possibilities begin. That's where you can see, this is what I want in my life, so I can actually magnetize towards me, as opposed to, I have to work so hard so I can do that, because that's an old paradigm.
Okay. Is there any information that could be potentially harmful to know in a past life regression session?
I haven't come upon anything yet. I have had experiences with clients where they've received information, profound information, and then afterwards they're like, what is that about? And they can't understand that level of consciousness of which they've come from.
Right.
So they're speaking about concepts and ideas that really they have no clue about. So what that does, it actually begins them on a different pathway in life, because then they start learning about, well, what does that all mean?
Okay.
So that's been actually a change, but a positive change for somebody's life. And maybe for somebody else it'd be like, oh my gosh, well now I have to start learning something else, and it's like, but that's part of who you are.
Right.
So I have not had anything happen in the regression that has been of a negative aspect.
Okay.
Even when you're in a regression and you see you're dying, you see the death, no matter how it is, you're objective. You can be in it and feel it. But it's not like where we are now, how if you burn yourself, you can feel it and freak out.
Right.
If you burn yourself in another lifetime and you're experiencing that, you'll feel it. But there's a part of you that is just outside of yourself. So for that reason, there might be some negative understanding of how that would impact a person, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not something that would have them leave and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. It's just like, it's just a natural progression.
Okay.
So they're usually positive.